All right, we ready. We ready. We ready. Hey, we ready. Uh, so we is live. We is live. We is live. We is live.
You so country. We is live.
We is live. We is live and in true colors.
Yes, I'm alive.
All right. So gonna wait for folks to trickle on in. We know y'all getting off work and getting off all the
Putting the
things.
children to bed. No. Shoot, someone got school.
Some of y'all got kids.
Right.
More than one.
What? Listen.
Look, bless all y'all who got more than one
Bless
kid.
her. Bless her.
Bless her. I'm telling you, if you have not seen that movie as a Black person, who
Your card needs to be taken. No, there's a whole bunch of movies that it's like if you haven't seen this, like your card needs to be taken from you at least temporarily. Because can't nobody take away your Blackness. But Holiday Heart is definitely it's
top tier.
It's a must. It's a
top
must.
tier black film.
Listen, like
I still to my own whatever. I still haven't seen Crooklyn. Yeah.
Jarius.
But I make up for it because I have, and it is my top favorite. I at least have
Okay.
seen New Jack City a bunch of times.
Okay, it's not the same.
I know it's not the same, but it's something. It's something.
I mean, but you got some folk that have seen Crooklyn but not coming to America. Now that to me is
Yikes.
That's not okay.
No. Harlem Nights.
Oh, listen. If we have to make another video, listen. If we gotta put up a whole new.
If you don't know about having your pinky toe shot off. Oh, you want to hit people with trash cans.
Oh, and that's the thing, because Della Reese was such a sweet lady. And for her to play a part like it was just like,
I can't remember what age it was when I saw that movie, but I'm glad that I was able to experience the cursing. Like,
right. I feel like if you watch the clean version, there really isn't one. They don't really play it a lot on network
they play it on
TV
BT every now and
then, and it still be at those times where they can fit in a few little words. They may like voice dub a few words, but it's so much that goes on.
I need all the cussing. I need
right.
all of Red Fox and Richard Pryor and Eddie just going at it.
Of course.
All right. Well, people are here, so welcome to Black Table Read. We are your hosts, the amazing and multi-talented Miss Lydia A. Cool.
Hello.
And I am your other host, Mr. Jarius Cliett, multi-talented, multifunctional.
I'm about to say, introduce yourself.
Devilishly handsome. We are back again with Black Table Read. This is episode 2. If you have not, which is a shame, but if you have not watched episode 1, buckle up, people. Buckle up. But if you haven't, you still have an opportunity. So the first taste is free.
All right.
So you can still watch it here on Facebook, on our Facebook page. But going forward, this video won't exist. The only way you will be able to see this episode or hear this episode is if you go to our YouTube channel at Black Table Read, or you find us on wherever you watch your podcast, because we're on streaming podcasts now.
All of them.
All of them. So you can watch us on Apple. If you got a funky Android, you can listen on Spotify.
Overcast,
Anchor, Overcast,
all the things.
We just fancy.
We out here.
So got a sip of the water. Been teaching all day. But
bless the children.
We are ready to start, so if you're a newcomer, you're just tuning in and didn't watch the first episode, shame on you, go watch that. We always are going to start our very first segment of our show is going to be the Black Top. This is where we talk about all the things sports. We talk about mainstream. We talk about mostly it's Black stuff. We talk about
Black excellence,
the
just
little
just to bring up what's
pop,
going on in the
we don't talk about politics when it serves us. It's not serving us right now.
Not at all.
Only thing I can say politics wise is Black people, please go vote. Like,
look, everybody go vote,
I'm
but
looking in the camera.
especially
Please
all
vote.
all of my beautiful people go vote, because the wonderful folk, they gonna vote. So all my beautiful
in
people,
droves.
okay, caravans. So
Look,
as your
these
mama,
folks
as
is
your
not.
daughter, as everybody, go on and vote.
Look, if you live in the
Vote.
Atlanta area, there are plenty of places that
Whew.
is like the drive-through
Carpool,
Wendy's. You can
everything.
get in and get out and be good.
Right.
You go your little 20 minutes in the line, you go, you good.
You all right.
So go vote. But we're gonna get things rolling with the Black Top. I want to start off by something that I am very passionate about. Lydia knows this. I am a superhero fanatic. And I love all things Marvel, DC. It don't matter. I like it all. But what happened most recently in the news was that Michael B. Jordan announced that he will be producing with Warner Brothers, which is pretty big, a Static Shock movie. Now, if you are a 90s kid, you should know Static Shock from the very successful Black cartoon that came out, but it is an actual like DC superhero comic that has a pretty extensive run. But people have been clamoring since it's had ended that we wanted some type of live action, something to expand upon the story, or even just put it. There was talks at one point to have, I think it was Jaden was supposed to play Static at one point.
Jaden Smith?
Early on. This was like 2011 or something like that.
Oh wow.
And nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
But that DC has kind of is diversifying their whole clientele. They've decided to now go ahead and do a Static Shock movie, which I think that's pretty big, especially to bring somebody like Michael B. Like that's also a credit to Michael B. Like, you've been Lydia has a crush.
Look.
You sound like my mama. My mama, when we went to go see Creed, it might have been the second one. My mom talking about, look at that back. Look at that back. Just look at it. I'm like,
Lord,
ma'am,
help. She's
look at all the muscles.
The man did train now. That was all him.
No,
that's shout out to Michael.
I will admit, I stole a couple workout things.
You did some drills, didn't you? Try to get that Michael.
I was like, let me get this back. Let me get this back. I'm trying to be on somebody's beach this year, but then COVID happened. So
then COVID said, no,
you're gonna be glutton today. So shout out to Michael B. back and all on this upcoming thing. I can't wait to see it. Because we talked about it last week. I'm curious to see the casting process. Oh, that's what I'm most intrigued about. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, so who it right in the read? I'm not even gonna flex. I can already tell John Boyega is gonna be on that list.
I hope so. But we've had our talk about that one, amongst others. But we've come to our conclusion, and that you can hear about it in episode 1. So yeah.
All right. So the next thing, it's not really Black excellence. I mean, it's all right. I don't typically care for it.
We say Black excellence, but the Black Top, it's
everything.
We gonna hear everything.
You gonna hear good, bad, and different. Yeah. But I was on Shadow and Act and just looking, trying to keep up with us. And I ran across this article that talked about Miss Mona Scott Young. Now, if you don't know who Mona Scott Young is, thank your lucky stars that you don't know who Mona Scott Young is. But Mona Scott Young is responsible for Love and Hip Hop for every city and a bunch of stuff on Zeus, and just she is a Black creator, if you can call it that. It's a little along the lines of Black exploitation, but we gonna leave it there. Lydia sips a drink while I talk about this mess. So Mona Scott Young is apparently shifting from reality TV to scripted drama with the Shaka Zulu series. Y'all heard them crickets?
I heard somebody sneeze just now. Bless you. Coronavirus.
It's getting real. It's getting real. Yes, a Shaka Zulu series. And I really had to sit there like, really?
Bless her.
How does that
like
you could have picked anybody.
Anybody. And you know what?
Anybody.
Not even to just cut. This is what I want to understand about us. Just creators, period. When you have an idea, whether it is something classic, whether it is a biopic, whether it is whether the storyline shall feed you in whatsoever way, there is just some things that either don't need to be touched, that we should just remember because it's already been done, or it's just one of those things that if you must touch on it, do it right. And I mean, it may be a thing of her, like, really having some good about doing this. She may have like wanted to do something like Love and Hip Hop, all of them. It was just like that was her way in.
Do Love and Hip Hop Shaka Zuluization.
See, now I'm about to run. And
she gonna have Ray J as Shaka Zulu.
See, I'm about
no,
to
I just don't think certain stuff should be touched. I mean,
that's it. And it's
especially certain people shouldn't touch certain things, because if you're not gonna elevate the conversation, like I would have rather like
that's like something Ava DuVernay.
Yeah, that's up her alley. Like I'd be like, okay, I watched that. Because if you have seen 13, like that was
When They See Us.
Like that is an I can't wait. I'm sorry.
Child, A Wrinkle in Time. All of the things.
It's on my list, A Wrinkle in Time. But I can't watch When They See Us only because I would like not to be mad at white people for 5 weeks.
You must.
Straight.
It's literally it sucks so much that it's a real story. A real, not even a story. That happened there.
One that Trump inserted himself into during that time, mind you, this man told
the man
people
that is the commander in chief, y'all.
Commander in Cheeto.
Oh.
Well, like he rolling in Cheeto dust every day.
Look, we gonna anywho.
But anyways, yeah. So she's doing that. She is partnering with a South African production company called New Vision. Good. So it's a thing. Good. And I didn't know that the last time I think it was a series was 1989.
Yes.
So it's been a minute, but again, does Mona Scott Young need to do it? Because I don't think we need a reality. That's like Kim Kardashian doing a Harriet Tubman biopic. Like it just don't translate.
Well, Julia Roberts did want to play her. Did you know that? Yeah.
See, that's why people make me want to be king.
Look, we're not on here to bash y'all. We bring this to the table to discuss. To discuss.
All right, Lydia, it's all you, my dear. It is all you.
All right, y'all. So to continue on with the madness, any Charmed fans out there? As you know, it has been 2 years. Look, Jarius already knows.
So I had to tell you about this. So I actually used to watch Charmed with my mom. Up until a point where she was like, "This is witchcraft. We can't watch this." So we had to turn it off.
You kind of know that from the top, Mama.
So
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch the the syndicated to catch up and see what I had
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
See. So yeah. As you all know, Charmed has a sequel. It went off air. I don't think it's been over 10
It's
years. I don't even
been
think it's been over 5.
it
It
has
might
been
be 10. It's
it
been
is
over
10.
10
It's been
years?
10. It's
Okay.
only been 9 or 10. Yeah, so it's
Okay. Okay. So it's been off for a while. Now, like a lot of these other shows that are looking at being rebooted, you got your Saved by the Bells, the possibly Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all these old shows, all these old white shows that have graced upon us are being rebooted. Now, Charmed was one of those, and this time the cast is mainly women of color. Now, two of the actresses that were on the original Charmed, Rose
Quacked.
McGowan and
They were
um,
quacked.
Rose McGowan, and let me get her name right. It is Holly Marie Combs, who they played. Of course, they were the sisters, two of the sisters. Basically, were on Instagram Live, and I'm I think that somebody asked the question of how do you feel about the show? So looking at the video, Holly Marie is just saying, well, it's kind of crazy because they did take our version off. And in the middle of that, Rose McGowan butts in and was just like, well, they probably don't want to do that because they want to suppress our voices. They want to take away what we did. The show sucks, talking about the present show. Now, current star on the show, Miss Sarah Jeffrey, who I want to say plays Rose's part, um, went on to say, I saw this earlier and I refrained from saying anything. I thought better to just let them shout in the abyss. But I do want to say, I find it sad and quite frankly pathetic to see grown women behaving this way. I truly hope that they find happiness elsewhere, not in the form of putting down other women of color. I would be embarrassed to behave this way. Peace and love to all. Now, that right there is grace because you would think that, sorry. To go back, at the end of the video, Rose McGowan says the show sucks, even though she admits to never watching the current show,
It's like
but
I
then
can't
goes
say
to
that.
say,
I
right,
can't
but
say
then
that.
goes to say, I'm glad that they're women and they basically have jobs.
People are working.
Now, this is a part of our industry that really bugs the mess out of me. Is that yes, they do have jobs. They do have jobs. These young women, whether they're young women of color, young white women, whatever it is, yes, they have jobs. But the point of it is, you had your moment on said show. Now, you all knew that there was going to be a reboot. They weren't against it. They've been against it this entire time, and it still happened because at the end of the day, you really only have so much control. When a studio says they're going to do it and they greenlight it, it's going to happen. Now, you would think that just as women, you would be able to just give praise, to not even have to say anything negative, anything nasty at all, no matter if you watch the show or not. Why even bring it up? You're not on the show anymore. Whatever projects you have currently, focus on that. Why focus on what these young women are doing? Because obviously they're gracing the screen right now with said show that you once were on. So if anything, you would think that having that totem pass by, that you could just be like, praises to them, get your money, get your bag, moving on. But
but
you can't
that
even do that.
but that unfortunately
I'm off my
is the is the stigma between white Hollywood and black Hollywood.
Absolutely.
When the totem is passed in our community, for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much high praise. Like, there you go. I hope you take it, run with it.
Yeah.
And in this regard, it's straight up hating. It's like, well, I mean,
And it's like,
we did it
why?
first, and it's like, this has nothing to do with you. I don't even
Nothing
think
at
they
all.
reference y'all.
Nothing at all.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure the series, from what I can remember, is structured so that every couple of years there's a new charm 3. Like there's a new sisterhood that happens anyways in the
Yeah.
mythology. So it's their time to be the 3. Y'all crusty old
See.
saltines. Uh Rose McGowan looked like she could use a slutty vegan burger, you know.
Oh, all right.
But but no, like I mean, the same thing has kind of hasn't. It's funny because on the same network, because so they're on the CW.
Right.
Batwoman, something similar kind of happened with them too. So Ruby Rose left, who is the main character,
Yeah.
left the show
Mm-hmm.
after they had just gotten the season 2 like green lit. Was like, all right, peace out. The show leaves on a cliffhanger. And it's like, all right. So what they do, they got what's her name? Javancia or something. I don't want to say a girl's name wrong. I'm sorry if you ever see this video. But I know on the family, not the Family Hustle. It's a urban movie channel show, but I can't think of the name of it right now. But she's now stepped in as Batwoman.
Javicia Leslie.
Yes. So she stepped in as Batwoman.
Yeah.
But for the most part, as far as Ruby is concerned, Ruby been high praise. Like she can't wait to watch. Like she's excited.
Yeah.
Which is big. I mean, you basically have somebody took your job, and so I don't know. It just I guess it just depends on the person. Like it just depends on who you are at your core.
Because I was just about to say, you got some folk that just are, they're just nasty, and they don't have nothing good to put off. But yeah, and just to give one more praise to this is that Javicia Leslie is the first Black actress to play Batwoman. So, boom,
and she get a curly red wig.
Ooh, love to see it. Mm-hmm. All right, so to end out our Black Top, Adrienne Warren, who was just recently coming off her nomination, honey, as Miss Tina Turner in the Broadway musical, namely acclaimed Tina, is set to play Mamie Till Mobley, who was the mother of Emmett Till in the anthology series coming on ABC. And it's going to be called Women of the Movement. And the season of the show is going to focus mainly on the murder of Emmett Till and the journey from which his mother took to basically shake America and show America exactly what happened to her son. Because we see it a lot now where, we have our young men and women who are either being shot, hung, basically still being messed with. And parents are out here just as much as the next person is saying, no, they're going to see exactly what happened to my child. So with that, they're going to have that be the premise of the show and how his death sparked the start of the civil rights movement. And also Jay-Z, Will Smith are producers, and Gina Prince Bythewood is going to direct the pilot and is also executive producer. So I am very excited for that. I
feel better about this than the Mona Scott.
Yeah. You got to round it out with the.
It's like
you got to bring the bottom bun at the bottom.
We could do better. I think we could get a little Jay-Z. Oh, we got Will too. Okay, come on, Will. Come on.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a powerful.
That's gonna be awesome
series. I think I remember learning about Emmett Till as a young Black male, probably around his age, when he was killed, and just, I mean, there's always like these unspoken rules as Black people that we have. I remember my mom telling me as a kid, you can't go on, so much so it took me until I became like, I want to say my mid-20s is when I stopped doing certain stuff, like don't wear my hood, if I'm somewhere, or don't have my hands in my pockets because they may think I'm stealing, or don't whistle. And I'll be having a song in my heart. I like to whistle there now and then, but just doing stuff I basically to keep me safe,
Yeah.
Because something like that happened. And I mean, I still, can't. Which is, do you watch? I don't know if we talked about it. Have you watched Lovecraft yet?
I've only seen the pilot, and I actually am going to catch up today.
Okay, yeah, I need to watch it. But I heard there is reference to him.
It is, yeah, because it starts
Okay,
around that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's an episode that references him. So I'm like, okay, I really got to see this now. Just how
Yeah,
they.
it's good.
Okay,
It's
all
good.
right,
It's
all
pretty
right,
good.
all right,
All right,
people.
Mr.
But
Cliett.
that wraps up our blacktop discussion. And if you have been with us since episode 2, you should know that now it is time for the table read. This is where we talk about our big discussion. Our over she got the notes. she got her table read book ready with her lines
Oh,
and
I
all
should
the
make one and put. Oh, okay. I have some
ooh.
crafting to do.
Hey, make me one. That's all I ask. Just make me one.
Ooh, I got you. I got you.
But no, so this is where we're going to talk about our big subject, which if you looked at the title of this episode is what a coin's at. Fully Bonics, what a coin's at.
You know what I should have
Uh
put? I should have
what,
put the graphic with Cuba Gooding Jr. when he was in Jerry Maguire.
oh,
Show me the money,
uh
Jerry. Hey, real.
hey, that's where we at. So when me and Lydia were talking about this week and prepping and planning, we stumbled upon something that I didn't think it was known, so we're gonna make it be known in this episode. But the idea that Black projects, Black artists, Black organizations, theaters are severely, hear me when I say severely underfunded as opposed to their white counterparts. That's white with the YT. And so it's been troubling to really like let that sit because me and Lydia are, for all intents and purposes, Black creators. Like even this show comes from being a Black creator. Like we just wanted a space to talk, engage with y'all, let y'all
Yeah.
know where our heads at as young Black creators. But even us sometimes finding funding for projects and passion projects that we want to work on, it's like, where do we go? But then I'll overhear, because as my mom would say, you got 2 ears and one mouth, so you should listen as much as you talk. So I just started listening to stuff, hearing how theaters are getting funding through grants and where they're finding the grants, and they're writing diversity grants, but then you have one person of color on stage. Did I say that out? I'm sorry, I said that out loud, didn't
Yeah,
I?
that was
That
was
was
in the
loud.
microphone. Yeah, that was live. No, that's real. That's
So
exactly what
it's
happened.
like you promote the diversity while lacking every sense of the word, but you got the money though. And so I'm like, okay, so where's the funding? Where do we find? Uh, and so Lydia, what are your thoughts? Because I'm gonna get how I feel about it either way.
I mean, I feel as though this is what I came to realize, especially living here in Atlanta. When I first moved here, I felt like, okay, Atlanta's black,
Mhm.
blackity black,
Black,
and then it
black.
became Black Hollywood. I mean, you got, of course, Tyler Perry and all that, but most projects that you will see on your television screen, when you watch the credits at the very end, it has a peach. And that
Made
lets you know,
in Georgia.
legit, it has the whole little jingle and it's just like big old peach. And it's just like, boom, it was here.
Yeah.
And you would think that with with as much that goes on here, that it will be a lot of us, producing that work. it wasn't really until I really started like booking and getting some more stuff here in the theater industry that most of the theaters here are white owned or have mainly white artistic directors, producers.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's only one.
No, there are three that I know of. So I
Three
know
black theaters.
or black owned and opera. I know Marietta Theater in the Square.
Yes, Marietta Theater in the Square.
Shout out to
Emil
Emil.
Thomas. Mm-hmm.
True Colors.
Yes, Kenny Leon.
I want to say Dominion.
Yes, in Dominion. Robert
Dominion?
Connor.
Yeah.
So
those are the only three that I know of.
And we're talking out of
an entire city.
Yeah.
And
we're in Atlanta. So it's like, of course, with something like, a pandemic hitting, you would think that we will be able to, I pray that we'll be able to like rise from the ashes type of thing, because just how, there's places like New York, they have their fundings for their theaters there as well, that are mainly that now that I'm looking at for artists of color, because literally it's always us that have to like scrounge around and just be like, what's next,
No.
And not to say that that's not every artist, but more than likely you're going to have artists of color that are going to be the ones like having to scurry around and have to be like, okay, where's that next,
Now I got to play devil's advocate just a little bit. Not devil's advocate. I have to give another vein and see if the people at home is thinking. Now, prior to pandemic and social unrest, where in the world were these Black funded projects that have suddenly suddenly popped up? Because no offense to anybody, well, all the offense, if you offended, you offended. But me and Lydia recently had gotten an email by a company here in Atlanta, and I know we're both gonna apply for it because we got some dope stuff. But the question that pegged my mind was, why wasn't this a thing prior to George Floyd being killed, Breonna Taylor being killed? Because there's a long laundry list of us being killed in our community, and it has remained business as usual. Go be in this show, even though Trayvon Martin just got killed not too long ago. Go to this workshop, go to this acting class. Sandra Bland got killed not too long, the other day. It's still got to be business as usual. But it took social unrest. It took burning cities. It took a Atlanta theater reckoning and an uncovering of people like Brian Clowness, not only Clowness, being unmasked as a hooded figure and a clown and a narcissist and a racist, for people to be like, we got some problems in our theater. So let's show our Black and brown artists that we see y'all. So it took for y'all to do all of this for then the funds to magically got Lydia over there singing something. It took all of that, Lydia. It shouldn't take all that.
But maybe it should.
But see, but then, so it has to be that much of a
mess.
It has to be that, like, it has to be that catastrophic. We have to we have to have a pandemic, social unrest, and an election all happen simultaneously for Black and brown artists to be seen and taken seriously.
Listen, it's things like it literally comes in the space of not being able to control what not being able to control what you can't control, you know? Like just how you said, it had to be the pandemic, it had to be social unrest, it had to be all of these things to basically blow up in our faces, just be like, hey,
Hey, we see
hello,
you. We see you
hey,
see
how you
you see my
doing? We're
you see
artists
my
too.
post. You see my
Right.
post.
And it's like it really behooves all of us as artists to just feel like, dang, like what did it really take? Because you got casting companies up in, you know, places like New York City where there's like a good like main 8 or 9 of them, mainly that were all white staff members
Mm-hmm.
that are now putting out statements saying, oh, all right, so this is what we're going to do. And they will give you a whole slideshow, honey, of everything that they're going to change. And that's awesome. But it's
That's
like,
great.
you know, it's, you don't want to go back in time and just being like, okay, well, why did it take now? Obviously, folks were so blind or acting like they were blind, literally with like rose colored glasses type thing. But they were
Rose colored
aware,
and
you know,
drunk.
like seriously, because it's like, it's
Because
no way. It's no way.
you have to be aware. I am
Absolutely.
I was telling my girlfriend on Sunday, I'm still trying to wrap my head around at times being in rooms that are predominantly white and I'm the only person of color in it. Like that still is one of those things where I just go,
Yeah.
wait, what? Y'all couldn't
Yeah.
find nobody. Yes, I'm qualified. I'm hella qualified to be here and I'm thankful to be here. But they are equally qualified people who look like me who should be in this space. Like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things like I couldn't it kind of kicked me in the teeth and then it kicked me in the high gear. It's like, okay, I acknowledge it. I see it.
Yeah.
Now let me turn this whole thing on its head. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of been my thing. So with finding the coins, I guess the question is, excuse me, where do we start? So what I did was recently I reached out to a colleague, and she has worked. She's a white colleague, and because I knew she knows certain things about grants and that kind of thing. And but she's an ally. Like I've seen her allyship, true allyship. That's what I would say. Because some of these people yelling out, "I'm an ally,"
We see you.
they still got the hood in the closet. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It's in the trunk.
Mm.
It's at the house. It's hell. It's in their office in a drawer somewhere.
Shoot, they got it on.
They got it on underneath.
Just up under
Somewhere.
the
They hot. They running
right.
hot. But you know, I've seen her true, so I trust her when I say, "Hey, I'm working on X, Y, and Z project. I need to know where the funding is." And she broke that thing down like a fraction. I said, "Well, goddamn, uh, it's been here the whole time." You know, I'm out here using. Look, I'm out here using my money to to finance the dream, and it's just free money, just here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so these theaters who are putting out this allyship have this knowledge and hasn't made it available
Oh
to
no.
nobody.
Oh no. Uh-uh.
And
We
that was something that I challenged a very prominent theater, the same theater that sent us that email the other
mm-hmm.
day. I was
Mm-hmm.
on a call with him, and that was something that I told them. I was like, "Are y'all going to diversify yourselves? Because it makes no sense that you have all this funding funneling into you,
Right.
and you're in a city that is so diverse, but is a predominantly Black city,
Mm-hmm.
and your seasons don't look." I wanted to cuss, but I had to be. Lydia say I had to be on my P's and Q's. You mean to tell me it don't look nothing like the city that we live in?
Yeah.
like what does that, you have corporate sponsors, grants, you workshop new works that eventually go to Broadway. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Where the coins at?
Right. I mean, it definitely goes into saying within indie industry of from business to the arts, it's like when you have a society that is not for you, even though you were born here, that literally you have every right to know and to be in the know and to be aware of such things. And there are folk that seek themselves as the majority, that have the audacity to feel like they can control these things and keep them from you, even though you two are equal.
Mm-hmm.
It plays into everything that we're going through, y'all. This is why literally all these campaigns for us to vote is like, we're not even going to turn this into a little, telethon and nothing like that. But it's super daggone important, because even though it would seem like people would know logically what to do and what to think about, but you still have some folk that are, I don't see color. No, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, baby, you have to see color. You got to see yourself too.
You should want to see color.
I hope you see color, because if you see a stop sign, you're gonna know to stop, right?
Unless you're running them too.
Unless but yeah, it just goes into that whole narrative of, like I said, you're of equal status and of equal talent, and we still get that short end. And I appreciate that the reckoning is here, because especially, like I said, with us being in Atlanta and with it being a predominantly Black city, I mean, there's a bunch of us that are out here that are making it work, that have not even graced not one stage in this city.
Still out here working.
We still have to, because you have to make your own avenue, because literally when it just goes to show of saying like, oh, if you wait for the opportunity, it's going to leave you before you even get to it. Like, just to wait on others, just to be like, here you go. And then it may not even be it should be to the point where it's like, by the time it comes to you, it should just feel like, oh,
I'm already moved on.
I'm already blessed over here.
That.
Oh, thank you, though.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But still keeping it open and just like, you know what? You still want to collab though? I'm about to go and do this project, but I'm gonna see you. See you. You know what I'm saying? Just come on in the room. But wait, I'm gonna go over this room real quick, because that door just opened for me.
I made that room.
I built this door. Okay.
I made that door.
The chairs and the table that's in there. That's
to every piece of food. I'm sorry, yeah, we got on that.
From the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. But to the clothes that he wears, to the food that he eats. I make it possible.
But no, that is something that right before, I don't know when it was. I want to say it was before like we really went and launched JMC Productions. I was listening to an interview with Marlon Wayans.
Oh, and yes.
He was talking about, just that the Wayans are just an exceptional family, just in general.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But Marlon was talking about, he has interviewed to do, auditioned to do roles and this kind of stuff. He just wasn't hearing anything back. So eventually Marlon was like, well, bump it. I'm gonna go ahead and make my own stuff. So, he got a deal with Netflix to do X amount of movies there. He had the Haunted House series and all, and he was just like, if I waited for Hollywood to cast me in something, oh, I'd be waiting a whole like forever, because they see value in what they see value in. Right. Like it's not the same. For us, it's like, to them it's like a little passion project. Like, all right, cool, bet. To us,
I don't think it's Spielberg to direct it. It's cool.
Yeah. But to us, an elevation of the conversation. And I can't wait till we talk about, I cannot wait till, I cannot wait to that week.
Oh, when we talk about, you talking about Cotton Club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that week. That's gonna be great.
Good.
That's gonna be good. But no, I think it comes down to, we have to stop asking.
Yeah.
We have to stop being like Oliver Twist. Can I have some more? Like, I'm just so tired of asking permission to exist as a Black person, a Black man, a Black creative, and an actor. I'm tired of going into rooms and being like, I was so good in that audition, like, and then I go to the show, I'm like, I could have did that, like, why? And I'm just tired. So you either gonna get on the train or get off. That's the way I feel at this point. I told somebody, I said, I'm finna become the other side of Suge Knight, where it's like, if you want to be taken seriously, if you want to work, you don't want them dancing all up in the videos, come to DMC Productions where we treat but we treat you like you should be treated.
Y'all love us? Look.
But even in that, like, finding the funding to do our projects has been a blessing, because we've interacted with the community in a way where it's like, okay, the community knows what we're about. They know what we're trying to do. They support the artists that we're employing as well as the mission. So, but now it's like, okay, we want to kick things maybe into a different direction. Now we got to go look for that. So where are we going to find these things? Because my question is, besides the 3 companies that we listed, how many companies have come before them and failed because of lack of
funding, right,
or notoriety, or space, or something, where they pushed out, it's like all these questions that I have, because it still just not compute how you could be in a city like Atlanta and it don't look like it.
Yeah.
Your boards don't look like it. Your front office don't look like it.
Hell, the folks that's in the room that you go to the sign-in sheet.
They damn
and
sure
they
don't
say,
look like
the folks that take your headshot.
No. I would say there's only one place that I have seen a few people of color every now and then, and it's always great to see them. That is at the Alliance. I do get to see Yesenia, and I can't think of her. I think her name is Alex. But every time I go into an audition, whether I get it or not, it is always nice to see them. It's like another boost. Like, it's like, okay, cool. And then I might see Skylar in the building, and it's like, okay, cool. We need more of that. We need y'all not just taking the headshots. I want to see y'all in the room making decisions. Hershey,
yes.
Yeah, I love seeing Hershey. Shout out to Hershey. Every time this whole pandemic, getting opportunity to sit in on master classes and talk to people was a blessing. But it's like, we need more of that. We need y'all to be in the rooms
everywhere,
like infusing us into the fabric, because we built this thing. Like, theater, I don't think would exist without that extra. Okay, all right, it's that extra
bit of loud seasoning.
That the Colonel said he got 12s and spices. Well, we got more than that.
All right.
And it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Now that the reckoning's happened, now that the testimonies have been given, the viewpoints have been given, how do we get to the money, get to the progression, I think, is the question.
Yeah.
Cause like Marcus said at the march, like if you ain't a part of the wave, like I have said in the actually 2 hours ago, I said there was one theater I just was not working with because it's just a no.
Yeah.
So you either on the wave that's new and inclusive and sees us for all of our blackness and all the beautiful shades, or you getting off. Like I'm not gracing the audition room if I'm not being taken seriously. I'm not looking for a handout. If you want to partner and be a true ally, I'm for it. But I can't do a disservice to my community or myself any longer by just accepting subpar,
Right. Yeah. And I think just really just holding those said like organizations and theaters accountable, and making sure that the work happens and is done properly. And like you said, just not accepting any old thing, because it used to be, well, I know, like holding that sake of professionalism, of course, but then it used to just be like, oh, I really do want this job, so let me just do what they need, or let me just do what they want, or let me just say whatever or what. And it's like, no,
that gets exhausting.
No, this in the words of Maya was, oh hell no, because literally it's I've been binging on Girlfriends, if you can't tell.
I haven't gotten around to it, but it's on my list.
Oh my God, listen, I was watching that half. No. I've been all of it. Half and half is on. One-on-one is on there. All the things. Oh yeah. All the things. But no, just to sum it up, y'all, it's time. It's been time. There's been way more testimonies before we heard them at that march. Oof. It's been testimonies while you're in rehearsals. It's been testimonies while you're backstage and after you close the show. Look, and once you go to the
cast after
go
party.
To the cast party when you reunite a year later, because usually by that time it's still the same mess happening. And I feel like if you're literally not over it now, then you're already just cluing yourself to still be a part of the mess. And that's the way that we're talking about. The wave of, listen, over here, we're looking to get that work. We're looking to get that inclusion. We're looking to be seen, heard,
adequately paid.
Hey, where the coins at?
Where the coins at? Because it goes far beyond. Where the coins? It goes far beyond projects. You're not adequately paying the people that you putting up.
Baby, stage. When I tell you, listen, just to even know that, just women alone. Like, we're not talking about the color part. Women alone get 47 cents to the dollar. Huh? It's 2020.
People don't care about no damn year.
At all. At all. At all. And it's apparent. And that's what I'm saying. It's just as long as it took us to get here. Let's not make it that long for the change to come, because then we're literally just dragging our feet and not holding those folks accountable and holding ourselves accountable.
Yes, ourselves accountable, keyword, because I think if we're going to elevate the conversation, if we're going to elevate and have expectations for others, we equally have to have just as much expectations for ourselves. That's just how that works. I can't expect the theater that's white owned and whatnot to respect my time and my talents if when I'm doing a production that I'm producing, I'm not respecting the time and talents of the artists I'm employing, or even myself for that matter. Now, Lydia will tell you, we don't do that around here.
They sure don't. JMC will treat you right.
Look, like a good weighted blanket, we hold you down.
Got a good heated weighted.
A good weighted blanket.
Amen.
Yes. So I think as we go forward, we have to keep checking them. That's just, we can't take our foot off the devil or devil. But
Can't
we
take your
have
foot off the pedal or the devil.
no. But we have to, as a community, check. I mean, we got to check each other sometimes, because it's like, all right, you want the money, you want the coins, you want the notoriety, but are you effectively putting in the work to make that happen? Are you putting in time and some sleepless nights? You know, this stuff don't come easy. Like, if you're in the arts, you didn't pick an easy career path.
It's a crazy. It's
Like, it takes everything,
it's
and
bonkers.
we're already, we still, you know, we're not even at the finish line. We, as Black people, we seem like we just getting started sometimes, because that's how the system's been designed. It's not for us.
Right.
So
we have to make it fit now for
yeah.
us.
Not even, look, I'm far past making me fit. Like, I'm not finna do this.
I'm over for the
Look,
oversized.
I ain't finna do this number. Let me go and get up in here.
This Nutty Professor nudge though.
Look, ooh, let me go and get up in here. No, I'm over that. I'm over that. You either gonna stand side by side with me in unity, or please get out my way.
Ludacris said it best.
Boo!
Ooh, get out the
Get
way.
out. Look,
Get out the way.
I'm a Mack truck on a good day. You better move.
Okay.
So, all right, y'all. Well, that was our table read. I hope you have enjoyed our antics, our revelations, chapter 7, verses 16 and 17.
Oh, they shall cover no more, even shall they thirst anymore. Preach, preacher. For God shall wipe away.
All right, I gotta go listen to the album.
All right.
Sunday I listened to the Rebirth of Kurt Franklin, and I was like,
oh yes,
I forgot how much this rides.
Yes.
But no, so our final segment of the evening before we leave you guys is always going to be our BTR moment, which is our brief think release. It's a time where we kind of just wrap up everything. We also take questions. So if you ever have any questions, you want us to address something, you have a comment, whatever the case may be, you can always email us or send us a message on Facebook, but preferably email us at blacktableread@gmail.com. This will get the quickest response from us, and we'll talk about it on the show. If you have a topic that you may want us to discuss in length for the table read, shoot it to us. Or you got something that is plaguing you as an artist or just as a human, we'd love to talk about it. So blacktableread@gmail.com. So I'm going to take us out with BTR. So one thing that I recently learned from a mentor was the notion that if you get the streets to love you, everything else will fall in line. So in the notion when it comes to getting the coin is, with us as Black people and artists and a community, we should rally behind each other in a way that everybody gets elevated. I think there is enough room that everybody can be elevated, but we have to first introduce ourselves into the community, and then the community in turn loves us, respects us, helps fund us, helps sees us. I think that's important, and that's one thing I've been trying to do, is make sure that I'm seen not just as the actor on the stage or as the producer behind the scenes or the director, but I'm inside of our communities. I'm in our schools talking about what I do, and giving representation to Black boys and girls that look like me, that let them know, hey, you can do this. Because I think once people see the value of not just our lives, our talents, but our impact, that's where the coins really start coming, and it comes from our community. As recently coming off a show that Lydia was a part of and my company produced, one thing that we saw was the love of our community in terms of our sponsors for the event. Had 4 sponsors, all Black-owned businesses, all Black, everything.
Yeah.
And it was just a testament to say, we just put it out there. We told them what the project was. We told them the idea, what we wanted to do. And in turn, the coins came. And it's not even necessarily about the coins. The coins was a gracious part, but it was the fact that they entrusted us with something that will represent and elevate the conversation and our people. And so I'm gracious. So give to the community and it'll give back to you. And that's where the coin comes at. So that is our BTR moment right there.
All right. Breathe, think, release it.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more water because got me over here. Where the Martin Luther King anniversary fan at?
See, with the broken flap and the
With
wooden
the
stick, with the popsicle stick.
The popsicle stick. All right, y'all. So y'all be on the lookout for next week, same time, 7:30. It'll be BTR episode 3. You want to tell them what next week's title is, or you want?
I don't even want to tell them. I want y'all to just see it.
All
Just
right,
know
well,
that
y'all-
it's gonna be real musical inclined. It'll actually help to lead us into that following weekend where folks like to dress up and stuff anyway, but we do it because it's a part of our culture. So just be ready for the feathers, be ready for the music, be ready for the whole essence from which we had such a glorious time in our culture.
All right, y'all. Well, until then, y'all be safe out there. Wear a mask if you have not already. Please take your butt to the poll.
Today, like, well, not
Take
today,
your
but
whole family. If they
You-
are
you-
over 18 and they are
right
registered
now.
to vote, take them to the poll with you. Y'all stand in line together.
Because if I'm
Y'all
not
can see
mistaken, early voting is still goings on here
until
in the state of Georgia
yes, I think until next week. So
until next week. Okay.
if you haven't already, take thy butt to the poll and vote. Because if you ain't voting, I don't want to hear no complaining for the next 4 years. I just don't. You had your chance.
Right.
All right, y'all.
yeah.
Y'all be safe out there. We will see you guys soon. Be blessed. Be safe. Peace.
Peace and love. Bye.
Bye.